The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. Very warm welcome to today's webinar. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes for all the attendees to join in. I can still see a lot of attendees are joining in, so we'll give ourselves around a minute more before we start today's presentation. Hope you all are doing well and had a long, good break during your Christmas holidays. And as we're back, I'm sure we're getting busier like before. You can still see a lot of audience joining in. So let's just give ourselves not a couple of minutes, but just about a minute more. Still seeing a lot of people are joining in. Just maybe another 30 seconds before we could start. All right, let's begin. So once again, good afternoon, everyone, and very warm welcome to today's webinar on ASIC Registered Agents, Roles and Responsibilities. My name is JB, and I'll be your host for this session today. Before we could begin the presentation, I'd just like to lay down certain housekeeping rules. In today's presentation, we'll be taking you through the ASIC Registered Agents, Roles and Responsibilities. For any reason, if you are unable to see the screen or hear the audio of the presenter, then don't worry, you have the webinar panel on your screen, which also shows the number that you can dial from your mobile phone or your landline and enter the PIN to be able to get the direct audio access to today's webinar presentation. So you can listen to the audio by dialing the number, enter the PIN, and then also see the screen while the presenter is talking. Besides that, today's presentation would be about an hour. In case if you have any questions, then please don't hesitate to drop in your questions in the question box, which is available on your webinar panel. And the presenter, Manoj Abichandani, will make full efforts to answer all your queries, time permitted. Now, just giving a brief about today's presentation, we have Manoj Abichandani. Very warm welcome to Manoj. Just a brief introduction about Manoj. It's my complete pleasure, firstly, to welcome you, Manoj. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you, and Happy New Year to all our listeners.
Thank you so much, Manoj. So just for the audience's interest, I'd just like to give a brief introduction about you. So Manoj is an experienced SMSF Product Manager, and he is a highly regarded professional in the industry, having worked in the SMSF space since 1988. With over 19 years of experience advising 600 SMSFs, Manoj has played an extremely significant role in strategic superannuation solutions. In addition, Manoj has also worked as an accountant for over 7 years with leading chartered accounting firms in Sydney and has ran his own CPA firm specializing in SMSF audits. He also regularly updates online smsfaudit.com.au software, which he has written himself, which is assisting today's more than 600 auditors to audit their funds. In today's presentation, I welcome you again very much, Manoj, and the stage is all yours. Yeah, Manoj, the stage is all yours.
Yeah, sorry, just a small glitch with my mic. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can very much hear you clearly. I'm sorry, before you could proceed, Manoj, I would request one of the audience to confirm if they are able to hear me by saying so. All right, I could see a raised hand. Thank you so much for the confirmation. So Manoj, the stage is all yours now.
Thank you. JB, I think you forgot to mention that I'm also helping the IT team in building companychanges.com.au.
That's correct.
And and while I was looking after 600 super funds, I was also an ASIC registered agent. And I would say out of those 600 super funds, about 500 of them had a corporate trustees. And we had many situations where they were adding a member in the fund, and Section 17A of the SIS Act required them to be a director in the in the company, which was the trustee of the self-managed super fund. So it was there my interest, for corporations law started, and I've been quite involved in company matters. Anyway, for today, I'm very excited to discuss the crucial role of registered agents. In this presentation, we'll explore the core responsibilities and obligations of these agents. I'll be focusing on the importance of maintaining compliance by the end of the session. I hope you will have a comprehensive understanding of what it takes to be a responsible and an effective ASIC registered agent. Ensuring that you are well equipped to navigate the regulatory landscape. And I will be talking about some points to briefly explain what ASIC, Australian Securities and Investment Commission, is and its role in regulating financial markets. I'll try and highlight the importance of registered agents in promoting investor confidence. I'll also mention the potential consequences of any compliance, such as fines or even criminal charges. In this presentation, I'll delve into crucial aspects of being a ASIC registered agent in two parts, basically. The first part would be as an ASIC registered agent, the responsibilities as per the terms and conditions which we sign up to become a registered agent. And the second part, I will talk about the electronic lodgement protocol, which we also agree to, and particularly if we have time to include the requirements of Form 362, which is a special requirement than any other form. I'll try and explore some of the points of electronic lodgement protocol. We'll just call it ELP, and its significance in ASIC compliance in totality. Now, just to understand, ASIC plays a vital role in the Australia's financial system. It extends far beyond simply registering companies. ASIC has many functions, and the key functions are managing multiple registers. ASIC oversees over 30 different registers, including the prominent company register. The register contains publicly accessible information about companies, their directors, shareholders, and submitted documents. And I am a registered super fund auditor. It has a super fund auditor register as well, and many others. Enforcing compliance, that's a major key function of ASIC, not only in companies, but also for the registered agent. It ensures that companies adhere to the Corporations Act, promoting fair market practices and investor protection. It promotes fair market. ASIC's work contributes to a fair and transparent financial system. It enhances confidence and trust among investors. Now, in this webinar, we'll specifically delve into crucial role of the ASIC registered agents. These agents assist companies in navigating the complexities of the Corporations Act and maintaining compliance with its regulations. Now, before I proceed, I also want to thank my team CP and my IT team in India, and the support team who are helping me to build the company changes software, which we will bring forward to the market very, very soon. And some parts of it is available, and I will be discussing that very, very soon. Now, the role of a ASIC registered agent is very detailed. And I'll also discuss some of the items on who is eligible to become an agent, what is your understanding of the regulation, what qualifications you need, what are the requirements to which you must have, which are necessary to act as an agent. Basically, the registered agent acts as a bridge between the companies and ASIC. Agents are crucial intermediaries, streamlining compliance procedures and paperwork for businesses. Now, by understanding the complexities of the ASIC registered agent's role, we can better navigate the regulatory landscape and ensure smooth compliance with ASIC regulations. Now, it's very important that agents are up to date with corporations law and follow the registrations, terms and conditions, and the electronic lodgement protocol. Now, the agent must have an ABN, and they must be up to date with all their obligations, and they should comply with their responsibilities. But their role primarily is to be a bridge between the company and ASIC. To effectively serve as a ASIC registered agent, you need to possess strong understanding of your duties and necessary tools for fulfilling them. First of all, you must have essential knowledge of the ASIC regulation. You must have a thorough grasp of the ASIC's terms and conditions, which we will discuss today, and the knowledge about the electronic lodgement protocol, which is very crucial to adhering to all regulatory requirements and avoiding potential violations. Now, ASIC agent should also be very familiar with the ASIC's portal, which is the Edge system, and how you can register yourself and how you can familiarize yourself, as all available on the ASIC's website. Now, the electronic platform simplifies the process of submitting documents to ASIC, and the ECR, the company registration software, it utilizes the ECR system, and it allows the registered agents to register companies online efficiently, and is highly recommended those who are in charge of 100 companies. By acquiring these skills and utilizing the provided tools, ASIC registered agents can effectively navigate the regulatory landscape and provide efficient and compliant services. And those who are familiar with Trustdeed, they must be aware that Deed.com, the owner of Deed.com, owner of Trustdeed, has been a registered agent for over 20 years, and we have been forming companies for over 20 years. Before being a registered agent, it also had the ECR qualification. That means that it is a digital service provider, and it can lodge companies, which is Form 201, on behalf of their companies, on behalf of their clients and their companies. Now, as an ASIC registered agent, you have several key responsibilities. Compliance. This involves staying updated on any changes of the Act and how they affect your companies that you look after. And the next is lodgement. This includes regular filings such as annual returns, change in company details, and other statutory lodgements. As far as record keeping is concerned, these records must be comprehensive and easily accessible for any audits or reviews. It happens infrequently that ASIC may ask you for certain authorities which you have to have before you can actually lodge some of the forms, and I'm going to discuss about that a little bit later. As far as communication is concerned, the agents assist your company clients in fulfilling these requirements. Effectively, you as an agent must be able to guide all your clients. Now, you hold this role as a mentor for your clients at all times. Now, let's look at the first part, which is the terms and conditions of the ASIC registered agent. So, talking about these terms and conditions, we'll cover the we'll cover these terms, and we'll talk about the critical, paragraphs of these terms and conditions, and I'll try and emphasize that the understanding the legal framework governing the ASIC registered agents. Now, the ASIC registered agent terms and conditions are very vital regarding the regulating the agents, and that is what ASIC looks at, and looks at the breaches made by the agents to regulate all the registered agents. These terms and conditions basically provide a framework for insurance compliance and enforcing rules. Understanding these terms are essential for staying compliant and avoiding any potential issues. In October 2018, ASIC introduced these mandatory terms and conditions for all registered agents. This was the first significant step towards regulating the activities of registered agents. In 12th of May 2020, ASIC updated these terms and conditions and replacing the 2018 version. These updated terms and conditions provide a framework for regulating registered agents and ensuring they meet their compliance obligations. These terms and conditions are designed to protect the integrity of the ASIC's processes and ensure that registered agents perform their duties diligently and accurately. Again, in March 2021, the highlighted role as a gatekeeper and a requirement to act in the best interest of clients and not engage in deceptive and misleading practice was introduced in the terms and conditions, and it has not been updated up till date after that time. Now, this slide highlights, I've uploaded the slides, and you can use it for training your other staff members. As a role as a gatekeeper, this slide basically highlights the proactive measures which ASIC takes to maintain compliance. ASIC uses newsletters to keep registered agents informed about their expectations and programs. ASIC has commitment to enforcing compliance, so they make sure that if there are any breaches, they are corrected, and they expect the agents to be transparent in what they do. They take actions like cancellation, they can take corrective measures. There have been certain suspensions of registered agents to ensure they are adhering to the rules. There's a clear indication of the seriousness with which ASIC ensures agent compliance. And ASIC will suspend agents who fail to respond to compliance notices and lodge documents without authorizations from company owners. So this is something which is all of a sudden has come up in 2021, and all registered agents must be aware of these requirements. Now, before we proceed further, let's talk about who can and how can a person become a registered agent. Now, there are certain requirements to be a registered agent. It can either be a company which can hold a business name, or it could be an individual who's got a business name under their name. That entity or that business name should have an ABN, and you should not, the main person, the responsible person, should not be disqualified for managing corporations under the Corporations Act. Now, every registered agent, now if you are a company and the company is a registered agent, you have to have a responsible person who's accountable for the performance of the agent obligations under the ASIC lives. Now, ASIC will look at the background of the person, and if they believe the application is not of good fame and character, then it's possible that they will refuse your registration. Now, if you've lost your ASIC Superfund auditor license, or you are in trouble with the tax office, or lost your tax agent license, this could also impact your registration with ASIC as a registered agent. Now, it is essential to keep your registered agent details up to date with ASIC. There's a form which is called RA01 form. It is used for registering a new agent, changing details of an existing agent. Or if you do not want to continue, you can also use RA01 on ceasing to be an agent. You must update your details within 14 days of any change. So if you change your address, email address, or if you change the responsible person or a contact person, you must inform ASIC. If you change your office or any other relevant details, you must keep ASIC informed at all times. Keeping your information current ensures that ASIC can contact you when necessary and that you receive all relevant communications in a timely manner. Now, ASIC as an ASIC registered agent, that is a company or an entity that has a registered business name, you must appoint an individual to act as a responsible person on its behalf. The responsible person is accountable for the performance of all ASIC registered agents' obligation under the terms and conditions and under the ELP, the Electronic Lodgement Protocol. It's crucial to understand the role of the responsible person and who can be appointed in this position. Failing to appoint a responsible person is considered as a breach of ASIC registered agent terms and conditions. Basically, this person should be 18 years and older, not disqualified from acting as an agent, and their ASIC registration agency should not have been cancelled in the last 6 months, and he should be an office holder of the entity. Now, for a registered business name, he should be the business name holder. Now, moving forward, as far as the responsibility of the responsible person and portal access is concerned, this slide basically explores the additional responsibilities of the responsible person and the contact person. It explains how agents can authorize users to access the ASIC registered agent portal and procedures for removing or revoking access to various staff members who work for the registered agent. A registered agent can also have additional contact person if he requires. It is important that the registered agent, all your details are up to date with ASIC, and that can be done on form R01. Now, online access is pretty simple. You can activate it, you can apply, and you can print and sign the participation agreement and send an email. I've provided the email address to which you have to send it to, and then you have to agree on that form to the electronic lodgement protocol and select the type of account you want to create. Now, I'll talk about the account which you want to create at a later stage, because there are two types, and not many of us are aware of the other type. So we can, mostly people are just a registered agent, but we'll talk about edge participant at a later stage of today's presentation. Now, what ASIC will do is ASIC will give you a unique ASIC number and will give you a username and password. And once you have your username and password, you can log into the account, and then you can see that all your companies will be linked to your account. If you want to add a new company, you will have to lodge Form 362. Once Form 362 is added, that company will be added to your account. Now, you must make a declaration and submit each and every form. You must clearly see what's in the declaration, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Now, as a registered ASIC agent, you can view company information in your account. We mostly call that as a company extract. And it also includes the statement date when it is due next, and the names and date of birth and the addresses of all the current office holders. On the ASIC agent portal, you can lodge quite a few forms, Form 362, which is appointment as a registered agent. And if you want to stop acting for the agent, you can lodge Form 361. Form 484 has almost 11 main criterias, when you change address or change directors' addresses, or add a director, delete a director, change the company structure. So there could be 11 different formats of Form 484. We're going to talk about that a bit later as well. You can lodge a resolution if you want to change the company name, or if you want to deregister a company, or if you have a business name, you can apply to change or to extend through the ASIC agent portal. You can notify if any office holder is resigning, or in relation to the company's solvency, or if you have entered incorrect information, you can lodge Form 492 to correct whatever you have lodged incorrectly. Now, it also gives you certain data, but there are certain limitations, and that is why there is a higher type of a registered agent, and that's what I was talking about, that there are two types of agents. You can basically lodge Form RA61. It's basically a review date report, and the review date report is from one date to another date. And usually it takes a while to get that information, and sometimes it can take 1 or 2 days, but you can put a range. So these are these reports which are the review date report, which means that when you have to pay the annual fee for each and every company. Once you get that report, you can then start letting your clients know that these reports are outstanding, and they need to pay those amounts. Now, if your clients do not pay the 321 annual review fee, you can lodge another report which is called RA67. That report can be downloaded, and you can export it and find out how much each and every company owes to the tax office, owes to ASIC for the annual review fee and various lodgement forms. The only problem is that once you get this, you will have to again let the company owner know that these amounts are outstanding, and you must communicate that amount to the company holder and give him a method on how that amount can be paid to ASIC. Now, you can extract company details one by one at any time. So that's a company extract. If you want to know who the directors or shareholders are of any company. On RA71, just to let you know that you just cannot inquire about any company. You can only inquire about those companies where you are the authorized ASIC agent, and the company has given you permission to to act on your behalf, act on their behalf. Now, there is another form of being an ASIC registered agent, and that is you can lodge a form, and I have added that form. It's in the form Schedule 3 as a Edge participant. And if you look at the documents which have been uploaded by JB, you will see that the Edge participation form has also been uploaded. It's a very simple form. There is no fee to become an Edge participant. Once you become an Edge participant, basically you as a registered agent will be able to lodge Form 201, which you can't do. If I go back, you will see Form 201 is not there. So Form 201 is only if you are an Edge participant, and that means that you can lodge company registration as a registered agent. Now, many times, when you use trustdeed.com.au, you are basically not lodging under your name, you're lodging it under deed.com.au's name. So there is a difference between the two. But once you become an Edge participant, you will be lodging companies under your own name. So you will become the registered agent for that company. You can also lodge Form 410. Now, earlier on, you could extend a business name or you could change the business name. But if you're an Edge participant, you'll also be able to apply for a reservation of a business name. So being an Edge participant, you have other benefits as well. As far as the review date is concerned, you can get for all your companies for 1 year. So in one stroke, you will know which company has which review date. And these are all those companies which you look after. You can get a debt report for one company, or you can get a debt report for all your companies. And that debt report is synced. And most of the softwares like Company Changes, I will mention the others as well, will give you a debt report straight away. They will, and that figure is synced with ASIC record every night. So every morning, this form is lodged on your behalf, and you will know if the amount is not paid. If you notice that when the annual review is due, there's a certain date which is given by ASIC to pay by. It is usually 8 weeks. And you can send a notification to your client to pay that fee. If the client does not pay that fee, you can run a debt report, and then you can send reminders to your clients that you have not paid, and you can mention the due date and the penalties which they may have to pay if they don't pay on that due date. Now, you can also lodge a form called RA65. That form actually allows you to download all the forms which are lodged in the previous 3 years by the company. Now, how to become Edge participant? The form is with you. You can download that form, and you will fill up that form, and we can assist you if you want to join Company Changes to fill up that form. And that form has to be sent to ASIC. ASIC will send you a Edge participation number and a password. Now that form has to go with another form called RA4, which is a direct debit authority. Now, when you become an Edge participant, when you form a company, ASIC will direct debit your bank account. So you need to give your BSP and your account number to ASIC so that they can take the money out of your bank account the next day. You have to make sure, and this is one of the terms and conditions of the ELP, that electronic lodgement protocol, that you will have sufficient money in your bank account. Now, if you don't want ASIC to direct debit your bank account, there is another method. You can credit ASIC. You will have to pay them in advance before you register a company. So this could be a little bit cumbersome, because when you're trying to lodge Form 201 to create a new company, you have to first pay them the money, make sure your account is in credit. The simpler way is to have a direct debit, and then ASIC will directly debit your bank account. Now, once you become an Edge participant, you will need a software, and there are quite a few softwares which are available, which are online, and there are some softwares which are desktop softwares. I'm not sure on how the desktop software will send reminders to your clients because they are not online. So I'm going to talk about only those softwares which are available online. Now, when you look at the digital service providers, DSP, on the ASIC website, you should look at the DSPs which are edge compliant software. At the moment, Trusted is not approved as a edge compliant software because we are still finishing off the 484, the 11 modules of the Form 484. We have completed everything else. We have completed all the data formation, sending the emails out, all that is done. We are just finishing off with our databases and then linking the API. Once we have finished linking the API, ASIC will look at our software, look at the reports which the software is sending, and then it will approve Deed.com to be an edge participant agent. Now, if you use our software, then you will comply and you will be able to lodge company details. You will be able to sync all your companies. You will get to see all your review dates and you will see the debt report for all your companies. Now, forming companies will become very, very easy for you because you will use our software. You will still get the constitution, the share registry, the consents, everything will be provided to you, but you will be lodging on your own behalf as an edge participant instead of using Deed.com as a ECR lodger, that is electronic company registration. Now, you will directly pay directly pay ASIC for the ASIC registration fee, which is $597, and you will pay the software provider to link you as a edge participant with the ASIC's data take-on machines, and you will be able to directly deliver your companies to your clients, and you will be automatically updating your ASIC company register. So what will happen is that what we are doing as a company changes, we are assuming that you're getting the Form 362 signed by the client. So as soon as you form the company, we lodge Form 362, and that company automatically gets added to your company portfolio, and you can directly access that company at any time. Now, the basic difference between just as a registered agent and a edge participant is, if you look at the various features, can you lodge companies and reserve a name? As a registered agent, you can't, but as an edge participant, you can. As far as the company details are concerned, you can only download one at a time, and you can lodge Form 484 one by one. But if you are an edge participant and use a software, and many other softwares have this feature, you will be able to download all the company details at one time. And if there is any change, you can lodge multiple Form 484 to ASIC. And let me explain to you what I mean by multiple Form 484. So let's say, for an example, you have a director who's changing addresses. Now, if he has 20 companies as a registered agent, you will have to prepare 484 forms 20 times. And after you prepare each and every form, you'll have to send it to your client to sign them. And then once he signs them, you will be able to lodge one by one all of those forms. But as an edge participant, you are able to lodge multiple for multiple companies on one Form 484 form, because the system automatically generates these forms for different companies. So it really helps and quickens and saves a lot of time. As far as the annual review is concerned, ASIC keeps on changing the date range, but basically it's a manual reminder. So if there is an amount which is outstanding, your client has not paid the fees on time, you have to every day log in and see the debt report, the annual review report, and see whether any amounts are outstanding by your clients, and then you have to send a reminder to your client. Whereas if you are a edge participant and if you use a software, most of the software will have automatic reminders. It can be daily or weekly. And the beauty about using a daily or a weekly reminder is that you don't have to spend any time in managing all your clients. Now, as far as automatic reminders are concerned on company changes, we allow 13 emails and 5 SMSs. So within 8 weeks, you can mention, you can tell your client 13 times, 13 emails, or you can send them 5 SMS, make sure that they don't blame you for any late fees. And the other benefit of using a Edge participant software is that you don't have to prepare the minutes or you have to keep the records for 7 years, because most of these softwares will prepare, including company changes, will prepare the minutes for any change. Let's say if you are adding a director, it will prepare the consent to act as a director, and company changes will will allow you to send to the director the consent to be signed before the form 484 is lodged. So once the form is signed, your obligation as a registered agent is to store that form. Company changes and other softwares also allow saving those forms uh, on the software as well. Now, this slide reiterates the core responsibility of the registered agent. It emphasizes the need for consistent document lodgement, providing assistance to client, and ensuring there is accuracy in all submissions. Now, ASIC expects agents to, timely and accurately lodge all the forms and documents, and expects that registered agents will guide their clients in day-to-day managing of their companies. Now, these are some of the few points which I have picked up from terms and conditions, but you're more than welcome to go to ASIC website and download the terms and conditions and read them. If you're a new ASIC agent, you would have ticked onto them before signing on. Now, agents should adhere to authorization from company to lodge the document. So I've noticed many agents, they just lodge the documents before getting the form signed. The ASIC portal actually allows that form to be downloaded. And once you download that form, it should be sent to the client for signature. You can send form 484 for digital signatures, and we will talk about that a little bit later, because form 362 needs a wet signature, and I'm going to talk about that special conditions in the terms and conditions which ASIC has provided. Now, there should be proper record keeping and maintaining the authority to lodge the document, as the ASIC may ask for this authority, which may need to be supplied within 7 days. And agents must also report any breaches of terms and conditions and must provide a plan and steps on how they will rectify the breach. ASIC expects registered agents to be transparent. So if you have lodged a form and you haven't got the authority from the client, I believe today is the day you should contact ASIC and let them know that the form was not signed, you were not authorized, and you have to let them know that what action you are taking before they allow you to continue to be a registered agent. Now, this slide basically talks about the need for timely lodgements and communication with the client, because all the documents like annual review and other communication from ASIC will be in your inbox. You need to forward those information and invoices and annual reviews to your client. There is an importance to follow all deadlines and ensure clients receive all the necessary information promptly. And also, it's important that you have an efficient and effective communication system if you are not an edge participant. So this could be quite a serious matter because you are breaching the role of an ASIC registered agent. Please note that there is a need for maintaining proper records and avoiding unauthorized transfers of registration. So although you can outsource your work, as long as the responsibility remains with you. So you cannot just say that the client is holding on to that form. The form should be held by you. So you have to ensure that you have some sort of a depository system, because when ASIC comes to you and asking you for that form, which is signed by your client, if you're not able to produce that form, you could be in breach. And if you are in breach, you could lose your license. ASIC has canceled many licenses for registered agents, and they continue to monitor their services. Now, this underlines the importance of professionalism and ethical conduct in your role as a ASIC registered agent. Now, there are some specific responsibilities of a registered agent. Here, I focus on some timely retrieval and forwarding of annual company statements and certain fees, which happens, on the day of delivery in your inbox. So you must, if you're a registered agent, you must, if you have 100 companies or over, you must have one person who lodges to the portal every day to check if there are any new documents which are sitting in your inbox. And agents must always keep their fees separate from any ASIC fees and remain up to date with the legislative requirements. So by this, I mean that if there are any fees which are levied by ASIC, when you're forwarding that fees, your fees, to prepare those forms and to lodge those forms should be kept separate from any ASIC fees, and you should inform, there should not be one fee for the total fee. You must separate and differentiate those fees when you're informing them to your clients. Now, the terms and conditions are quite comprehensive, but they don't cover every aspect of a registered agent's operation. It's essential to understand the limitations of terms and conditions and seek guidance for areas which are not addressed properly. For example, they mention the lack of any specific guidance on annual review statements, on how you should forward them, how you should review them. And most of the agents actually forward them to the clients to check if they are correct, like the names are correct, the addresses haven't changed, and things like that. And they do not follow up regularly with the client. So the terms and conditions do not specify any of that. Neither does it specify the process on how company changes in compliance with the Corporations Act, and how you have to maintain and have a good corporate governance for each and every company which you look after. The terms and conditions also do not talk about any qualifications that a registered agent must have. So basically, anybody can be a registered agent. There's no requirements for any studies in company law or anything regarding corporations law. So there's also a lack of guidance on record keeping, how it should be kept. Can it be kept on paper, or should it be kept electronically? So they leave it at the agent's level. So there are certain shortcomings in the terms and conditions, and sometimes you have to lodge very complex company changes which the client requires you to write, and there is no guidance on how the minutes and the resolutions would be provided. specifically in the areas, let's say there are any calls to be made by companies, on if there are any employee shares to be given, on how you're supposed to manage all of that within your portfolio of your clients. There are quite a few lists, and the vastness of the areas it doesn't cover is quite huge. And that is another benefit of becoming a edge participant, so that you can access these things which are available to you. So it's a good idea to become an edge participant so that you can use a software instead of using a manual system. Now, once you become a registered agent, you may retire and you may want to cease as a registered agent. Now, if you sell your practice, again, you have to stop becoming a responsible person. So that means you need to appoint a new responsible person. So you need to lodge Form R01 and nominate the buyer of your tax practice. Or if you're just closing down, then you have to look at two different scenarios. First is if you offer your office as a registered office, you need to lodge a Form 484, or you can withdraw your consent and you can inform ASIC that you are withdrawing your consent to be a registered office. But the best thing is to ask your client to change the registered office, and you lodge Form 484. Once that matter is resolved, then you can lodge Form 362. But then again, Form 362 is again to be signed off by your client, and you need a wet signature for that. So you're better off lodging Form 361, where you don't need any client signature and you can retire as as a registered agent of that client. Now let's just, I'm quite aware of the time, JB, and we want to leave some time for question time, but I've got a few slides to talk about, a couple of slides on the electronic lodgement protocol. Do we have enough time, JB?
Just a time check, Manoj, we have 7 minutes to go. However, I am trying to answer some of the primitive questions which doesn't need your intervention, so you can carry on. Maybe you can afford another 10 more minutes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's just talk about the electronic lodgement protocol. Once you become a registered agent, you're basically saying to the client that I'm going to tick off a declaration, and that tick off is basically your confirmation that you have lodged the document according to the electronic lodgement protocol. So if you're lodging Form 484, the 484 has to be signed before lodging Form 484. It cannot be lodged and then you sign later on. And specifically if there is a date which is being put on that form. The second thing is the electronic lodgement protocol requires that you retain a copy of that authority. So that authority is a separate authority. So it's not only the form which is signed, you should also ask your client permission, and they have to authorize you to lodge that form. And that permission or that authority should be kept with you for 7 years. And that authority could be an email form. So way we handle this is in company changes. There is a declaration made by the company holder who signs the minutes to lodge that Form 484. It authorizes, so the company minutes the authority given to the agent to lodge that particular form to ASIC. Now, this written authority is very important, and if you don't have that written authority as a registered agent, then when you're transmitting it to ASIC, you have basically breached the electronic lodgement protocol. Now, you must keep all your matters very confidential, especially the corporate key of the client, and you should only make searches for the clients who have authorized you, who have signed Form 362. Now the 362, there's a clause number 8.33 to be specific. You have to be very careful when you add a new client, because you not only need a written authority to act for that company, but you also need a wet signature of the client. Now, I just want to talk about this a little bit. So you get a client, you want to lodge Form 362, and you go ahead and you want to download the extract, and that form is not signed. So that's a problem. And the problem is that you can't use any digital signature platform. So what you need to do is you need to fill up the Form 362, and your client needs to actually print that form. And once they print that form, they have to sign that form, and they don't have to send you the signed form. They can retain that signed form, but what they need to do is they need to scan that signed form by hand, and then they can send you an electronic version which you must store. So just to repeat, you don't need the actual wet signature. You need a scanned copy of the wet signature, or you need a copy of the signed copy. So I don't know whether you are able to understand. So when you are when ASIC comes to you, what you need to do is you need to print the copy of the signed copy. So it must be a physical paper when you send it to ASIC. If they ask you, have you got 362? So they want to see a printout of Form 362. They don't want you to just simply forward them an electronic PDF file of Form 362. They want to see the paper of the Form 362. So you must have that paper with you at all times. And according to Section 351 of the Corporations Act, the signed copy of Form 362 should be held by you for 7 years after it is lodged. Now, once 362 form is lodged, basically the corporate key of that company is cancelled, and you become the agent. Now, the common mistakes, just all of those things which we have talked about: delay in sending notices, not sending them promptly, or not removing yourself for the older clients as a registered office, and you don't lodge 361. And when you get the letter from from ASIC, you're not returning that letter back to ASIC to say no longer client or something like that. So you have to do all of that, because all of these things are in the terms and conditions. And basically lodging forms without proper authority. And so you need two things: you need authority to lodge, and you need the form to be signed. So if you have a form which is signed, doesn't mean you can lodge. The company director, the company in charge, must also authorize you to lodge. That means there should be a minute where they have approved that you can lodge. There are many agents, they lack the knowledge, expertise, and which means that, for example, if there is no consent to act as a director, the appointment is invalid because they didn't sign before the company was formed. So when you get a new order from your client, even in trust deed, you go to that confirmation page. You should save and exit, and at the confirmation page, we actually give you the consent forms, which you can download. So what you're supposed to do is download those forms, send it to your clients, and they can digitally sign those forms. The only form, I'm repeating, which needs to be with wet signature is Form 362. So when you reach the confirmation page, there is an area you can download the consent to be a director, consent to be a secretary, send it to the client, and then you can lodge your Form 201. Now, if you don't keep records for 7 years and you're not educating your clients, that could be a breach. And then if you breach, ASIC can cancel your registration if you have breached any one of the terms or the electronic lodgement protocol. There are a few people who have been who have lost their registration. So don't think that ASIC will not come to you. And sometimes it is your clients who complain to you that, oh, that agent, they complain to ASIC, and then ASIC can come to you with a ton of bricks. And mostly the agents will say, I did not get my ASIC review on time, and then that is a breach, and that's when ASIC will come and ask you to send 300 Form 362 which you have lodged in the last 3 years. And there you have it, and you will lose your license straight away. Okay, and if you haven't lodged anything for 12 months, or if they find out that you're insolvent, or you are doing something to their systems, or you're trying to, upload some material which is non-acceptable, then you could be in trouble as well. So if you lodge something which is inaccurate or misleading, that could be in a problem as well. So if any of your clients ask you that you did not pay, you did not send me on time, and that's unresolved complaint, and that investigation can actually be conducted on the behalf of that company directly from ASIC, and then ASIC can also approach to you, and they can take some disciplinary action. Now, just to make sure that, and I did say it before, that if you are an ASIC SMSF auditor, or if you have a tax agent license, and if there is any problems there, if your professional body is taking any disciplinary action against you, you could be in trouble as well with ASIC, and they can also take away your ASIC registration. And once they take it away, they will cancel your registration, and they will write to all the companies who you were representing that you're no longer a ASIC registered agent. Now, conclusion, very quickly, understand and comply the terms and condition, and ELP must have return authority again and again, because I know this is where people miss out, because otherwise any breach, you will lose your terms, you lose your license, you will be subject to significant fines by ASIC, and you must also stay up to date. Now, last slide. Just want to offer company changes to all of you. It's $110. You can lodge Form 201, but you must be an EDGE participant. You can use company changes agent number as well, but then you won't be able to see all those RA 71, RA 67, the debt report, and the company reports. Now, what we are offering today is, and this offer is only till 30th of June, that if you form companies with us, we give you 5 years of company compliance on the software for every company which is created. Now, if you contact JB at jb@trustdeed.com.au, he can organize a demo for you, and we have team members. We can, we have 4 people in our team. I think already 30,000 companies. Is that right, JB?
Yes,
Who are
Manoj,
using
38,000 companies are already synced with our software today.
Software today, yeah. So, and there are close to about 70 odd agents who have become EDGE participants. So it is a plea to all trust deed users who are forming companies. And the best part is we have linked company changes to trust deed. So if you've bought vouchers through trust deed, you can use those vouchers. So basically you can form companies for free, because, trust deed, you can have a voucher for $50. Is that correct?
That's right.
And yeah, and the 5 years will be free to you. So basically, you can form companies for free, because you get 5 years for free by using company changes. Form 484 is the only one which is not ready. Form 201 is ready. All the company reviews will automatically go to your clients 13 times and 5 times by SMS. All you need to do is add their email IDs under your name, and they will automatically go to your clients. So 15 times reminders can go to your clients automatically, and this can happen today. You can lodge Form 362, you can add clients, Form 201, so all that is happening. And you'll get a full digital share registry, which is available straight away. Once companies are done, we will also do, we'll also have a separate one in company changes for unit trust and fixed unit trust, which is going to come very soon. So you'll be able to transfer units from one company to one person to another, or add new unit holders and things like that. All right, I'm done. Thank you very much. JB, you have left a few people, a few questions for me, or you've answered?
There were a lot of questions, although I've answered most of them, but I'm still having 3 questions if you'd like to take them.
Yeah.
Sure. There's one question from Paul. Does the ASIC software also provide pre-filled templates of resolutions passed for every change that we can lodge with ASIC?
No, no. You see, this is the difference. ASIC expects the registered agents to prepare and be knowledgeable on corporations law, and this is where you need to have a software. I think somewhere in the slides I have mentioned the names of the softwares which are currently available. I think it's now Infinity, CAS 360, which is BGL, and Wave. So you will need to, subscribe to one of those software or company changes. I cannot talk about other softwares, but the next event I'm going to have, I'm going to show how company changes works, and you will be very excited, to use it. And, to say that, and it's absolutely mind-boggling on what you can do on company changes, but this you will know only once you start using it. And they're registered agents, who are looking after more than 100 companies. I don't know how you are able to do them, how you are able to manage them, because every day you need to log in and check if there is anything in your inbox. So just be very careful, and there could be breaches. Your clients could pay penalties, so there could be problems.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's correct. Thanks for that, Manoj. Sarah has a question. Are all forms lodged with ASIC electronically accepted as signature? So I think you already answered that about all being accepted except 362 form.
Yeah, I'll just go up there onto that page, and the forms which can be lodged on the ASIC portal. I'm just going to list those forms. Here they go. So these are the what can be lodged. These are all the forms which can be lodged. There are certain forms, other forms which can be lodged, which is not for companies. So I'm not going to talk about those. So you can lodge all of these forms, plus you can get the data for all of these companies. But there's a certain date range, and you can get a date report. But as far as company extract is concerned, it's only one by one. So in Edge, participant can get all of these, plus they get these two. So just to make sure. So if you're an Edge participant, you get all of these forms, plus you get Form 201, Form 401, that is application, plus all the data, R61, like how I said, you can get only from a date range. Here, you get it for 1 year, so for a whole 1 year, which company is getting launched. And I think other softwares do it too, but company changes, we sync your companies every night with ASIC record. So if there is any change or any debt report, you get it every day.
Yep. Thanks, Manoj. And we have the last question from Ebony. She says, I work for an accounting firm. I handle all our ASIC compliance. Do I need to be nominated as the contact person, or should it stay with my boss, who is the director of our company? That is the registered agent.
Yeah, you see, this is very tricky because there has to be a responsible person and there has to be a contact person, right? But access can be given. You can be, she is what is called an online user. You can authorize multiple individuals. So that's who she is. So that's fine. There's no problem. And so there are three, or I would say there are four things which we are talking about. So one is a ASIC registered agent. One is a responsible person who should be the ASIC registered agent. So the ASIC registered agent is, let's say, a company. Okay. So within that company, there should be a responsible person, and that responsible person should be an office holder of the ASIC registered agent. So if there is a company, PTY Limited, the director of that company should be the responsible person. Okay. Now that company can have a contact person. So let's say I'll use an example. So deed.com.au Pty Limited is the entity who's a registered agent. Then Vandana, she is the responsible person. And the contact person is JB, but we have online users. We have many online users in the office who we have authorized and given them separate access. So there are four different levels. So what she is an online user who the contact person or the responsible person has authorized to use the services.
All right. Thanks, Manoj. And again, the last question from Mark. Is
Yep.
my ASIC agent ID the same as the Edge ID if I use it on your software?
No. So there are, you see, this is where you get and this is so confusing because as a tax agent, you are a tax agent, right? And you have one tax agent number. With ASIC, it's two separate things. I'm just trying to locate that slide. See, as a ASIC registered agent, there are two things. You can become a registered agent, okay? And a registered agent, you can use the ASIC Edge portal, no problem, right? But if you want to become an Edge participant, you have to apply, okay? And you'll get a different number. So you will, if you want to be using the ASIC portal, you have to be a registered agent. If you want to use all this beautiful software like company changes, you need to become an Edge participant. And you get a different number. But let's say you're an Edge participant, you're using company changes. Yes, you can go back to the ASIC portal. But why would you go back to ASIC portal? Because you can lodge all of these forms, which you can lodge on ASIC portal. You can also lodge them on company changes, for example. Okay, so both can work together. Okay, so this is in a way you can say Edge participation is a higher level of being a registered agent, and it allows you to do certain things. Look, I'm happy to take calls. I'm aware that there's shortage of time. If anybody is listening, they're free to call me. Call the office number 9684-4199 and just ask for me. And I'll be very happy to give you the differences. And I highly recommend you guys who are listening to download the Edge participant form and the RA form and call our office. We have two dedicated staff members who are Charu and Saloni. Talk to them. They can help you to fill up your Edge participation form, and you can lodge and form companies and do and it's free till 30th of June. till company changes is free for everyone till 30th of June. So you can start using it straight away. All right.
All right. Thank you so much for all the insights you've shared today, Manoj. I think it's really strengthened and bolstered the basic understanding of key responsibilities of the ASIC registered agents, roles and responsibility. Thank you very much, Manoj, once again for joining and sharing your insights today. And I'd like to also thank all the audience for your wonderful questions and your participation. Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful rest of the day. I'll be closing the webinar now. Have a lovely time. Bye-bye.